All right, well, again, thank you very much for inviting me. Just got one thing going on there. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, I just wanted to show you an image of our new building, just so you get an idea as I'm talking through my slides what it actually looks like. So this is the artist rendering of our building that is being erected as we speak, just behind me, in front of the old St. Joseph's Hospital in Comox, if any of you have ever been there. And we're very excited to present this building. Just some basics around the building. So it's going to be a publicly subsidized building for anybody who's over 18 years old. We have, similar to everywhere in BC, we have a criteria that residents in BC have to meet before they're eligible to come to a long-term care home. And so it would be someone that meets that criteria that would be able to come. So what? It is a 156-bed long-term care facility. It's going to have 13 households consisting of 4 neighborhoods, and each household will have 12 private rooms in them with their own bathroom. We hope that what we're planning on doing is trying to create a social relational model of care versus the one that you see, as I think Dawn was mentioning and other people have mentioned, around the medical model that you often see in a lot of our long-term care facilities. So alongside building this building, we're also looking at creating a whole new model of care. Within this building, there's also opportunities for intergenerational education and activities. We've got on the ground floor, there will be a childcare area for 32 children to be there. And one of the things that we are very excited about is our continued support from our local Indigenous community. And we have an Indigenous space known as a big house being built inside the courtyard, which I'll show you in a little bit. We're hoping that it'll be ready for occupancy in the summer of 2024. We are on time, on track at the moment. And as I mentioned, we're in Comox in British Columbia, so it's north of Vancouver Island. The one thing we also are very fortunate to have is actually 14 acres of land. And so the other piece that's going to be we're going to be working on over the next few months is how we develop the rest of the site here, which at the moment is where my office is and where the old St. Joseph's Hospital is. But the plan is to create a seniors complex, something where seniors can gather for all sorts of things, not just for the long-term care home, but maybe we're looking at wellness or some types of affordable housing, maybe assisted living, all on this 14 acres that we currently have here that I'm sitting on. The how are we doing this? We have a development design company called Field & Martin that we've been working with. We are being partially funded by BC Housing, and then our direct care, our fundings all come through the Ministry of Health and Island Health Authority. We also work very closely with Providence Healthcare, and they're actually the team that we have that are looking at our new model of care, are also looking at how we can change the model of care of our other 5 long-term care sites at Providence Healthcare. So a little bit about the building overview. As I said, there's 156 private rooms, all with their overhead lift that will take you from the bedroom and into the bathroom if you require it. Each household contains 12 rooms where 12 residents will live. There will be a living room and a kitchen and a dining area. We're trying to get rid of the concept of a nurses area, so there's going to be more of an open style concept desk that you probably maybe would find at home, an office desk, where we would have some of the essential IT equipment that we need. Each household will have a staff room. It says med room, but it's really more like a cupboard, because again, we're trying to create something that's a home-like feel. There will be access for meeting rooms, and each 2 houses will share what we're calling a spa, moving away from the old concept of a tub room, which is what I hear of all the homes that I go to now around a tub room. So having more of a spa facility, which will hopefully be, which will contain a shower and a tub and an overhead lift. There will be shared laundry rooms, and what we're trying to, within our new model of care, create an environment where if people want to be involved in doing their own laundry, they can. So any of the basic laundry would be done up in the household. Any, I would say, larger items like bed linen, that would go downstairs to our in-house laundry. And then obviously we need places for storage, so there'll be some utility rooms. The other things that we're very excited to bring to this new build, I'm just going to move on to the next slide, is our bistro. We're hoping that this will be open to the public, and so not only would our residents be able to go and eat there, assisted with staff, but they could also eat there with members of their family, from visitors coming in, and then hopefully members of the public would also be able to come. We have a large community hall, which we'll be able to use for community events, so not just events for the home, but also for the community. So if speakers wanted to come, or maybe there was an event that the family wanted to be involved in, I'm thinking, sometimes there's receptions or weddings or things like that, we might be able to host there. The other thing that we have is we're going to have a grocery store where residents will be encouraged to come down and help choose what they would like for breakfast or what they would like for lunch. The main meal we will be providing from our main kitchen downstairs, but we're hoping for breakfast and lunch residents will be fully involved in choosing what they would like to eat and even helping prepare it back in their own home if they want to. We've got an adult day program, which is also on the ground floor, and so that will be for our community. Again, it's run by Island Health, but there will be 8 spots for an adult day program. In the courtyard, there's going to be two main focuses in there. One will be the chapel or a spiritual place, and then the other one would be the big house, which is our Indigenous space. And I'm going to show you the courtyard in a minute. And the other thing we have down there, we have a wellness centre where residents would be able to come and visit our in-house occupational therapist or our physio. The thing that's not on there is we do have an art room and a music room in our community spaces as well. And we're very fortunate to have an art and a music therapist on site. So this would be a space for them to enable residents to come and be more creative if they want to. And the other thing is a hairdresser. We also have a hairdressing salon down there, so built into the complex. This is a view from the main entrance, and so one of the balcony that you can see at the front, this one is actually attached to the bistro. When you go through the other side, you'll actually be at ground level, and so one side will have this balcony, and then the other side will be our bistro and going out into the courtyard. Just show you here. This is the sort of architect's drawing. So there's 2 levels. There's 3 levels because we're on a hill. So there's the ground level will have some administrative offices, and it will have our sort of amenities. I'm just going to go through here. I just wanted to, so this is the ground level. You can see it would have our admin area, our parking. You can see that there's the childcare to the left there. And then our in-house kitchen and some staff rooms, and then our maintenance and in-house housekeeping and laundry at the back. And we do have some underground parking for staff and for residents, families that are visiting. Just going to go back to this one. Yeah, so this is, you can see we've got here a typical household. I don't know whether my cursor will work here, and you can see my cursor, but households are joined in for 2. So they'll work as 2 households together, where they'll be sharing the spa, they'll be sharing the laundry facilities, and they'll be sharing the meeting rooms. You can see in the middle here is where we have our chapel and our Indigenous big house. And then this is where I was talking about some of our community spaces. And so it's a little small in here, but essentially this area here is the bistro, and then the community hall, a wellness centre, art room, and then we've got an activity room, the hair salon, and then this is our grocery store here. All of these will be accessible from if you come in through these doors, but also from the outside to give you more of a I guess, a high street feeling that you're outside. So when you're visiting, the one thing that you'll notice is that residents they will be encouraged, well, they will have to come outside to access these. We're trying to create an environment as if you were at home. You wouldn't necessarily in your home go straight to your community center in through your house. So this would be, you will be going outside. It's an event that you would be going to, and so people would come outside to access these community spaces. I've already shown you. This is a view from one of the balconies from one of the households. So each household will also have a balcony. And this is a view of one showing one of the sacred spaces. So this actually is the chapel that it's showing here. So you'll be able to see out through the courtyard. And this is the bit that we're very excited about. So the courtyard, as you can see, is going to be broken down into sections. And as I say, this is going to be the chapel. This is the big house. This is where the bistro is. So in better weather, people can sit outside and enjoy a meal with their family. We've got a little bit more of an intergenerational area here, which is the children's play space, which we're going to have some very basic, I guess, maybe like a slide and some things for children to play on. But residents and families can sit there with their children. We're trying to create an environment where there's lots of shelter. So if people need to have, be out of the sun, that they can sit and there's a shelter. The other thing we're looking at, which is not on here, is there'll be some raised garden beds. So people, residents and their families can be involved in gardening and outdoor activities if they're interested in that. Okay, that's everything. And just, I guess, an area of and then we put it in this walking circle because people like to be able to walk. And one of our philosophies is, access, freedom of movement and access to outdoors. And so we've got working with different IT companies at the moment around some different, what we call real-time tracking devices that allow that freedom of movement where residents will be able to move freely. And so where I work at the moment, people they're in locked units and it's very hard for them to access the outdoor spaces. And so with some of the IT technology that we're looking at, we're very hopeful that people will be able to access the outdoor by themselves and will be able to know where they are. The piece that comes with this is the building is only half of it. The other half is looking at how we're going to change our model of care. And so I mentioned earlier that most of the care homes that I've worked in, they do focus on a very institutional model. As you can see, where it's very much focused on routines, it's focused on the staff and the routines that the staff have. It's very structured. There tends to be quite a bit of hierarchy within departments, people working in silos. What we're hoping to do is create a social relationship model where where home is not just a place, it's a feeling. It's about flexible routines. It's about residents and families being involved in those routines and allowing and sort of dictating how they want to live their day and what they want to do in their day. So the decisions will be with residents and not made for residents. The environment, everything we're doing, everything we talk about with our designers, our architects is around what would a home look like and how do we ensure that this looks like a home environment and doesn't look like an institution and it doesn't look clinical. We're planning our activities around things being more flexible and more spontaneous. We're also looking at our actual team members and how they can be more collaborative and how there could be smaller groups of people working with residents. Residents at the moment can see very many staff coming through. So we're hoping to be able to create an environment where there's a smaller number of staff working in a dedicated home. And so it gives you that much more of that family feel. The approach that we've been working closely on is something called the De Hoogway model. And I guess people may have heard of this. This comes out of the Netherlands. And it's based around a dementia village villages that have been built in the Netherlands. We, at this site, we're not purely a dementia village. We want to create a dementia-friendly village where people with dementia can live. But as you can imagine, we also will have other residents that maybe don't have dementia, may have complex care needs, and so they will be living here too. So what we're trying to create is a dementia-friendly environment. And so we have been looking at how we develop this model of care, looking at these seven pillars that De Hoogway use. So one is around, as I mentioned, favorable surroundings. So that's creating a home-like environment. Lifestyle, where residents choose what they want to do when they want to do it. Obviously, with the rigor of having medical assistance if they require it, but they can choose how and when they want to do it. We don't want to forget that people who are in our care homes actually do have health problems, and so those are important to people. We want to be able to honor that and ensure that people are getting the best physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual care that they need. The other thing that I didn't mention that was we have a medical center inside the home as well, and what we hope to is encourage residents, as you do now. If you want to see your doctor, you go out to see your doctor, and so hopefully we're going to create an environment where they would leave their household, come down to the courtyard, walk to the high street, and they would be able to go in to see their physician in the medical office. I mentioned a little bit about residents experiencing a normal life and the simple pleasures, and that's what we want to be able to bring people. And that involves choosing what they want to eat, when they want to eat, choosing how they want to live their day and what activities they want to do in their day. And then obviously we've got a little piece around our organization and how our vision and the education, the curriculum that we're going to have to teach staff how to move ahead with this new model, because it's going to be very different from them. At the moment, they do live a very structured life, the staff in the care home. And so we are creating education modules to prepare them for this change. This slide just talks about how we're doing it, and what we've done is, with the help of the Supports Foundation, we have been given quite a large grant to help us develop a team. And so within that team, we have a project manager, we have a change management specialist, we have an education specialist, and we have an activity lifestyle specialist that are helping us create our model. And so what they've been working on is our vision and our purpose, which is all complete now. The team has been built and we've hired into all of those positions. And what they're looking at the moment is best practices and standards to help them develop the model of care and what we want to look at it. We have here at the View set up a pilot project. So it's one of our units that we have now, where we currently have residents living. We're looking at trying to simulate what it would look like in the new building. And so once we're going to look at, well, we have already started doing mini PDSAs around food, around bathing, to try and simulate what it would look like in the new building. But we also hope to be able to simulate the new model of care around the different staff mix and the staff balance that we would have there. Yeah, and then we were hoping they'd be ready by 2024. The other one that I did overlook is, Dawn, you were mentioning about lighting. So we have been looking at innovative things to use inside the building. And one of them is actually lighting. And so we have been in contact with a company who can look at lighting around circadian rhythms. And we are in the process of fundraising to be able to have that on opening day as well, to be able to simulate, sunrise, sunset within our buildings. So we actually have been doing that. So I'm glad to hear that you've been looking at that too. This is just a little bit of where we are. So we have broken ground, and the construction is on its way. We do have a crane up, and the first floor the cement is already laid. So as I said, we are hopefully on track for an opening of around the summer of 2024. And I just wanted to thank our sponsors, really, Supports Foundation and the Comox Valley Healthcare Foundation, who, without them, we wouldn't be able to do any of this work. We wouldn't have been able to create the teams that we have. We wouldn't be able to look at any of the innovative solutions that we're looking at.